You know, a lot of people think success is about money or power. But real success is about making people feel something. Making them feel seen. Making them believe again. That's what I do. That's what I've always done. When I was young, I didn't know I had a gift. I was just a funny kid who liked to make people laugh in class. I used humor to hide my pain. But one day, my speech teacher, a man named Mr. Cups, he called me after class. I thought I was in trouble. He looked at me and said, "Tony, do you know why I asked you to stay behind?" I started to mumble something about goofing off. He smiled. "No," he said, "I'm keeping you here because I've never seen anyone light up a classroom the way you do. You have a gift. A real gift. You make people stop and listen." I didn't know what to say. He handed me a piece of paper. It was a speech called The Will to Win. It was powerful. It spoke about pushing through pain, never giving up, and fighting for your life with all your heart. He said, "This is you, Tony. This is your story. Learn this speech. And I'm entering you in a competition." I was just a sophomore. The contest was for juniors. He said, "I don't care about the rules. I care about your potential." So, I practiced. I cried reading that speech. I felt it deep in my heart. I got up in front of the crowd, nervous as ever, and I won first place. Again and again. I won almost every time. And that's when something inside me changed. From there, I ran for student body president. I wasn't the most popular kid. Not even close. But instead of trying to act cool or make big promises, I did something different. I went around to students one by one and asked them, "What do you want? What do you care about?" Some things they asked for, I knew I couldn't do. But I was honest. "I can't promise that," I'd say. "But this one? I'll fight for it." I won that election. Not because I was cool. Not because I was the best. But because I told the truth, and I cared. That moment taught me something that changed my life forever. You don't need to be popular to lead. You just need to care and tell the truth. I started giving seminars. Big talks. At first, I spoke at small events with another speaker named Jim. I was just 20 years old. And some people didn't believe in me. They said, "Tony doesn't know what he's doing." One man stood up and said, "I've got a client who's scared of snakes. You say you can help. Let's see it." So I said, "Bring the client to me." The client came, scared out of their mind. Couldn't even look at a snake. I spent time with them, really seeing them, feeling their fear. And within an hour, I had them holding a snake, calm and smiling. People were shocked. One thing people still talk about is the woman who had never had an orgasm. Her whole life. She didn't think it was possible. Through our session, without touching her, I helped her unlock something inside. People laughed. Some were amazed. But to me, it wasn't about the headline. It was about helping someone feel alive for the first time. That's what I do. At the beginning of my career, I used to challenge psychiatrists. I'd say, "Give me your hardest patient. The one you've worked with for 6 years. Let me see what I can do in an hour." People thought I was crazy. But I wasn't trying to show off. I just knew there had to be a better way. I believed that with the right tools and enough heart, you could change someone's life in minutes. I once helped the Army redesign their training program. It had been the same since World War I. I said, "Let me help. I'll cut the training time in half and make people even better." They didn't believe me at first. But I did it. People learned faster, got better, and the Army started using my techniques. Then I worked with sports teams. Presidents. World leaders. Nelson Mandela. Mother Teresa. Bill Clinton. People ask me, "How do you do it?" The truth? It's all patterns. Every person, every emotion, every problem has a pattern. And once you learn to read those patterns, you can help anyone. I've got 5 kids. 5 grandkids. My oldest daughter is 50. My youngest is almost 4. That's a big range. So I've seen the world change. I've seen how kids grow up in different times. But one thing never changes. People need to feel seen. People need to feel loved. And I've made it my life's mission to give people that. One time, I was playing golf. I'm a terrible golfer, by the way. I was playing with a group that included a famous pro and another guy who had been in 10 All-Star games. One guy asked the other, "When did you know you were better than almost everyone else?" It made me think, when did I know I had something special? It wasn't when I worked with presidents. It wasn't when I got standing ovations. It was when someone looked at me and said, "I finally believe in myself again." That's the real gift. A lot of people think my gift is energy or motivation. But really? My gift is how much I care. People say, "Tony, you can speak for 4 days, 12 hours a day without stopping. How do you do it?" Here's the secret: I prepare. I study. I read every single person's background before my events. Because if I'm going to serve you, I'm going to give everything I've got. People can feel when you're real. You can't fake love. You can't fake effort. And when you show people your heart, they open theirs. I once did a seminar where a billionaire sat in the crowd, arms crossed. He said, "I'm not going to jump around and act like a kid." 15 minutes later, he was the one jumping the highest. Why? Because he saw that I wasn't pretending. I wasn't selling. I was serving. That's why I still do events to this day. 4 days. Thousands of people. Music. Dancing. Crying. Healing. Because thinking alone doesn't change your life. Moving your body does. Speaking your truth does. That's how we rewire the brain. I remember sitting with the President of the United States, Camp David, Bill Clinton. He asked me for advice. And as I sat there, I realized, even the most powerful man in the world is still just a human being. We're all just people. And we all need help sometimes. Young people come up to me and say, "Tony, one day I'll be where you are." I say, "That's great. But by the time you get to where I am, I'll already be somewhere new. Because I never stop growing." That's the secret. You grow, or you die. You know what I really do? I help people find their own gift. I don't believe I'm the star. I believe you are. My job is to show you who you really are. Remind you what you forgot. Help you feel what you've buried. I love you enough to push you. I want to share one last story. Years ago, a man named Brittany invited me to a party at a big Hollywood house. Everyone there was in entertainment. Suits. Celebrities. I showed up in jeans and a t-shirt. I felt out of place. But then I remembered, it's not what you wear that matters. It's who you are. By the end of the night, I had people doing jumping jacks in suits. Laughing. Letting go. Why? Because deep down, we all want to feel free again. Science shows that most people don't improve from depression with meds. 60% don't change at all. Some get better, but many stay on drugs forever. But we did a study. 6 days, no drugs. Result? 93% of people no longer had depression. And that's not a miracle. That's the power of the mind and the heart when you move and you decide.
Please like and subscribe for more videos.